Good morning, church. I was channel surfing the other day, and one of the beauties of the satellite network that we have is that we get the Cowboy Channel. And I love watching the Cowboy Channel because it takes me back to many of the things that I loved as a child and still do. I'm a big fan of rodeo, and yes, I'm one of those who will watch it. I love bull riding up in PBR, which is not rodeo, but I also love the PCRA, and I love watching professional women's rodeo. And one of the events I really enjoy watching is barrel racing. Now the last time we were in Texas, we went to the Resistol Center in Mesquite and took the family. We were sitting in the front row, and Linda and Barbara were sitting there eating their Bluebell ice cream as they started riding the barrels and the barrel racing. And well, they had to cover their ice cream because as the horses were making the turn just in front of us, they kept spitting the dirt of the floor up and got into their ice cream. Anyway, being true cowgirls, it didn't faze them a bit. They just kept on eating their Bluebell ice cream. And anyway, for those of you in Texas, you'll know what I mean by eating our Bluebell ice cream with dirt in it. Anyway, when I bring up the subject of barrel racing, they had a a very a very important competition. It was the annual tournament, and one of the prizes qualified them for up to $1 million. And the young lady who won it was her second year in a row. Uh, Remarkable young lady. She couldn't stand any more than 5 feet tall. Watching her explode into the arena on her horse was just a thing of beauty. Anyway, I digress. When they were interviewing her at the end, she said something profound, and I just loved hearing it. And she says that they asked her how she felt in winning, and she says it was remarkable how God could use someone so insignificant and imperfect to show how perfect and big that He is. Oh, what a humble and beautiful statement that is, and to glorify God. It's funny, most people say, "Oh, I glorify God for the win, I do this," but for her to make that statement, to proclaim how insignificant and imperfect she is in this world, and how perfect and big that her God is. Oh my goodness. Well, of course, it brought to mind to me, being the pastor and all, it brought to mind to me the First Corinthians 1, uh, verses 26 to 28. And Paul spoke of this in verse 26. He says, "Brothers and sisters, think of what you were when you were called. Not many of you were wise by human standards, not many were influential, and not many were of noble birth." In other words, most of you were just common Joes or Josephines. Most of you were just put on your pants one leg at a time. Your breath stinks in the morning, your hair's unshoveled. You're just regular, common people. You're not overly wise, you're not overly smart. I know that's certainly the case in my case. I was by no means wise and you know wise and brilliant person. Still not. At least I don't think so. I sure hope you don't think I am, because I don't believe that I am. When Paul said that he came and he did not have a whole lot of eloquence, and he didn't have a whole lot of wisdom. He came trembling and shaking, and that's how I feel every time I go to do one of these vlogs, my friends. I feel I feel like I'm given this important responsibility by God to not mess up, to bring the word to you, and I feel insignificant. I feel imperfect. That this young lady just summed it up. I wish I could remember her name. She summed it up perfectly, beautifully. You know. And God, and we went into chapter 20, pardon me, verse 27. But God chose the foolish things of the world to shame the wise. God chose the weak things of the world to shame the strong. Oh, how true is that? How true is that? I saw yesterday that President Biden's dog Major nipped one of the Secret Service agents in the hand. And that's not foolish by any means. I mean, it's not the injury of the century. The German Shepherd nipped the guy in the hand. I mean, this is all new to this dog. He's only been there a little bit of time, and these people are hanging around his boss. And German Shepherds can notoriously be one man dogs, and it happened. And they're quietly sending him away, you know. So the the wise sages of the media world had the press conference with his press secretary, and they brought up, well, you're going to promise this dog won't be put to sleep, right? And she says, oh, no, everything will be fine, everything will be taken care of. And he says, now when will we see the cat? How foolish is that? When are we going to see the president's cat? This is the leader of the free world who has his hands on the nuclear football. This man can destroy countries with one push. Well, it can't really, but I mean, the metaphor is there. And they're worried about when we're going to see the man's kitty cat. God chose the weak things of the world to shame the strong. These people consider themselves strong. Well, they're not, though people hang on their every word. God chose the lowly things of this world and the despised things, it says in verse 28, and the things that are not, to nullify the things that are. Think about that. God chose the lowly things of this world and the despised things, and the things that are not, to nullify the things that are. My friends, I want to go back to that statement. How God, on a regular basis, uses people, uses ordinary people to do extraordinary things. It's happened through Scripture and it happens today. Using ordinary people to do extraordinary things. You're an ordinary person, and you, my friend, can do extraordinary things. When God calls you, listen, answer his call. You don't have to be eloquent. You don't have to be wise. You don't have to be a Rhodes Scholar. You don't have to have a Mensa IQ. No, you only have to be who you are, and God will take care of the rest. Oh, my dear brothers and sisters, he loves you, and so do I. God bless you. Stay safe and stay healthy, and I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.